Good morning or afternoon, and welcome to the Heart is Nomadic October Vin Practice. So this might be my least polished performance as far as recording. I brought our recording tools and our mic, and they got left back in my mom's place, and here I am at a beautiful Airbnb on Whiskey Creek and Mason Brook Sound. So a big part of theming this month has been all about balance. Libra new moon is indicative of trying to find harmony and balance in our lives. And I guess it's always a pertinent topic, but specifically right now in the United States, as early voting started, well, it starts today actually, and voting seems to be quite the polarizing activity these days. Our different views putting us on different ends of the scale. The way that we feel during the time of a pandemic, bringing on balance, the stress that we're feeling from practicing perhaps only from a distance. So there's quite a bit of fuel between this, between us and equilibrium to finding the time to be in this particular fire. So my theming a lot this month is surrounding Kali and Lakshmi, surrounding these two opposing forces within us, within all of us, male or female. So the goddesses are nothing if not archetypes, if not metaphors for different energies. We're personifying these different energies in these different pieces of ourselves as females. But this is just a way for us to understand the way the Shakti or the energy moves around the universe. Ultimately, Lakshmi and Kali are just different versions of the same woman, of the same person, of the same all-encompassing possibility within one spirit. Lakshmi representing culture, balance, structure, beauty, grace, the domesticity, the ability to live within the terrestrial world, to be within society. This is us, going to our jobs, going to the grocery store, putting on clothing, etc. Kali, the unbridled, the passion, the wild, the ferocious, the brutal, the ugly, the vastness of everything that's possible. And she's us in spirit. She's us in our timeless nature. And she's what we need to kind of kick ass and break through barriers. But both of these energies and many more are what we need to exist as a whole being. We can't always be in this furious rage. We can't always be these cultured, proper, structured beings. We need to have both. And it's when we deny these sides of ourselves that we find unbalance or turmoil, when we don't allow ourselves to be more than one thing, when we fit too much into a particular box, whether society assigned us this box, whether we crawled our way into this box. So this practice will be short, it's only an hour, but I invite you to look deeply into both aspects of your practice, both the action and the integrity, both perhaps the heat and the peace, noticing which parts you enjoy, which parts are challenging. Every day is a new day. Every day brings a new possibility in your body. Because I'm not mic'd, there'll be some poses I'm not doing with you, or I'll stop in the middle of it. I would like you to keep going. I just want you to be able to hear me. Also, I'm 6 months pregnant, so some of the modifications that I'm showing you, some of the modifications that I'm doing will not be something you necessarily need to do. You never need permission to pull back or to push forward in your practice if that's the way that you're feeling. I will offer a couple little modifications that are for pregnancy, but they're pretty challenging. And there's there's a recourse. So there's a little bit of through vinyasa that I encourage you to give a try. You can always bag it and just do regular push-ups, and you'll see what I mean in a few moments. But to begin our practice today, we'll go ahead and start and come into Balasana, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. And I'll demonstrate that for a moment, but then I'm gonna come out because you won't be able to hear me speak. You're gonna find space between the legs for the belly. Stretch the arms long. Take a deep inhale and a full exhale. So unpacking your bags, really allowing yourself to arrive in the moment, letting there be quality of heaviness and of connection in the front body. Fully inviting the breath to widen and expand into the back of the body, to the subconscious, into the hidden, into any little nooks and crannies, the attics and the corners of our physical and mental state. So as you inhale, feel the lower body expand downward, and as you exhale, feel the back body, the upper body, your shell expand outward. Inhale, feel a downward movement of energy, and exhale, the outward. The beginning of our practice is a time to drop into the body, into the moment, and into your prana, your life force energy. This is a space where we come home, where our yoga becomes more than the physical. We invite multiple levels of existence onto the mat. Find the fullness of your breath. Don't rush it, don't force it. Be fully present for the inhale, for the sinking and connecting, for the exhale, for the expanding and the broadening of the space. Our prana, our meditation, our connection with the body, mind, and spirit is just as important, if not more, than our physical practice. So fully diving into this moment. A deep and steady breath. With the head remaining down, beginning to lift the arms as the shoulders remain on the back, bringing the palms towards one another. Only the pinky and the bottom edge of the pinky finger and palm touching the mat. Letting this electricity of effort start to bring the impulse of intention into the mind and body. You might look at the beauty of connecting both sides of yourself, of the culture and the passion, of the left and the right, of the structure and the release. Take an inhale here, and take an exhale. If you'd like to join me for one round of Om, letting the vibration and the reverberation bounce into your mat, take a deep inhale. Namaste. From your space in child's pose, take your time to move forward, bringing the hands under the shoulders, cross the right ankle behind the left, and go ahead and roll down onto your back. Once you arrive on the back, either drawing the knees directly into the chest or take the knees wide as the armpits. You can give yourself a little rock and roll on the spine. So here's where you might see me pause or modify. This is because of my pregnancy, but you are encouraged to push through the fire of your practice, to be in the moment with your core work. Come to rest, head is long, neck spine is long as well. Reach the legs up into the air, cross the right leg over the left, and take the arms back. Take the head into the hands like a little neck cradle. Hammock situation, place the thumbs down, be a spittle bridge. So we'll take an inhale here to lift the head and shoulders off the ground, and as we exhale, bring the knees wide towards the elbows. Inhale to extend, exhale to draw in and squeeze. Inhale, exhale. So you're squeezing as close as you can. Inhale, exhale, really pull everything together. Tailbone draws into the navel. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We'll do for 5, 4, you've got this. Really squeeze it in for 3, 2, and 1. Let the head drop, keep the legs lifted, take an inhale. Exhale, move the legs down about 45 degrees. Take the head up, take an inhale. From here, draw the knees in, exhale. So inhale, legs extend, 45 degrees. Exhale, draw in towards the elbows. Inhale, legs extend. Exhale, draw it in towards the elbows. One more time, inhale, legs extend. Exhale, draw it in towards the elbows. Big inhale, reach the arms up, reach the legs down. As you exhale, hands and arms come down by the sides. Deep inhale to lift the hips. You might take the hands under the body, interlacing the fingers. Pause for the exhale. Feel the expansiveness of the breath now in the front body. So the flow, the movement, perhaps a little wild energy is moving on the front body, and the structure, the integrity, the engagement in the legs and the hamstrings and the glutes. The light pressure of the head is in the back body. Take one more inhale. Come down for the exhale. So we'll switch sides, and this time I'll cue you from a seat. Go ahead, come all the way back down into the ground. Take the hands behind the head, elbows wide, navel draws back towards the earth. As you inhale, lift the legs overhead, so your legs are about 90 degrees. Cross the left ankle over the right. I'll take an inhale to lift the head, and as you exhale, you're drawing the knees in towards the elbows. So inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, draw it in and squeeze, elbows towards the knees. Inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, draw it in and squeeze, or pull the navel in and down, tailbone towards the earth. Inhale, expand, steady breath, elbows wide. Exhale, draw everything towards the center. Inhale, extend, find that momentary release, and as you exhale, lift everything up. Two more. Inhale, slow and steady, don't rush it, keep control. And as you exhale, a little bit higher, elbows to knees, elbows stay wide, one more. Inhale, expand. Exhale, draw everything in and up. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, allow the head and shoulders to move towards the earth. Take a moment here, lift the legs parallel, so we're at a 90-degree angle, then slowly bring the legs down about 45 degrees. So modification would be to keep the head and shoulders on the ground. If not, you go ahead and lift the head and shoulders, drawing the navel in towards the spine, keeping the chin away from the chest, and as you exhale, draw the legs in. So option would be to go back to what we started with before. Inhale, legs extend and straighten. Exhale, drawing everything in towards center. Head and shoulders stay lifted this entire time. Inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, slowly contract and squeeze. Draw the navel in and down, low back pushes into the earth. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draws you back in. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draws everything back in. Go ahead and come back down, soles of the feet to the earth, arms down by the side. Take a deep inhale, press into the feet. Deep exhale, expand into the belly. Let the pieces and parts of your body that are touching the earth be the anchor here. A little hook of the tail as the tail draws to the space between the navel to protect the lumbar spine. Feel the fluidity and the circular concept of the breath. So it's not just expanding in and out, it's coming up the front body and down and out the back. Take an inhale, feel the breath move from the pubis all the way through the heart, the crown of the head. And as you exhale, feel the breath cascade down the back of the spine, from the skull to the shoulders to the ribs. Go ahead and lower all the way back down. You can draw the knees in towards this chest, and we'll start to rock and roll, meeting in all fours. Hands under shoulders, couple of basic moves in cat-cow. Belly drops down, little light bend in the elbows. Inhale, roll the heart forward. Exhale, draw the chin towards the chest. Inhale, heart rolls forward. Exhale, chin in towards the chest. Inhale, heart rolls forward, and this time bend the elbows, tuck the toes under, bring the shoulders forward to the wrists. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Begin to lift the knees, just slightly, knees stay bent, so a little hover here. I'm gonna crane myself forward. Bend into the knees, begin to press back through the heels. Whoosh. Exhale, lift it up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Find a full, steady breath here. Let the head move down. Let yourself bend your legs. Point and flex through the toes. Ultimately looking for stillness here. So there'll be a time when the hands spread wide, the inner thumb and the pointer press down. There's a lift to the forearms to help wrap and hug the upper outer arms back.
Tailbone lifts, hips lifts towards the sky, and the heels begin to tuck back and disappear behind the feet. Strong and steady through the breath here. Deep in full inhale, deep in full exhale. So we'll play with a couple little danda slides. Inhale, body moves forward to plank. Modification could be to bring the knees down. Exhale, hips lift high, navel draws to spine. Wrap the shoulders back, stay broad through the collarbones. Inhale, neck is long. Exhale, hips are high. One more time. Inhale, slide it forward with ease. Long, steady front and back body. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. This time, inhale, come forward to plank, knees down. So everyone give this a try, knees down, whether or not you're super hulky and strong. Wrap the triceps onto the back. Bring the chest forward to the shoulders, inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, press back up, plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale, chaturanga, navel to spine. Press back up, inhale, find plank. Exhale. Take an inhale here, exhale, knees to the earth. Inhale, heart comes forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, press all the way back to plank. One more time. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, drop the knees. Bend the elbows lightly. Inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale, slight push up. Inhale here, and as you exhale, plank pose. Your choice to flow through vinyasa, or if you're me, I'm going to skip the back bend and come all the way back into downward facing dog. So your body, your practice, your choice. Deep back bending is not a big yes move in pregnancy. There's a lot of back bends that do feel good in my body, but I'm skipping that one. I'm reserving it for surfing. So as you make your way to the back of the mat, find home base, find the equanimity between the breath and the bones. Take a deep inhale and a full exhale. Inhale, lift the left leg long behind you. Hug the tailbone in towards the center line, but bend the knee and begin to open the hip. See if you can keep the structure of the armpits pointing down. Find a little fluidity in the toes and the foot and the ankle. You might make small circles. Long, steady breath. As you inhale, squaring off the hips, reach the heel towards the sky. Exhale, draw the left foot between the hands. Stay high on the back toes. Lifting up through the heart, inhale, crescent pose. Taking time to level off through the hips. So tailbone moves down, but there's expansiveness. You can find space and breath in the kidneys. And oftentimes to do this, we need to find a little bend in the back leg. So I've got big pants on, but find a little bend. Don't over exaggerate your pelvic tuck, maybe just a little. And you keep the integrity there as you broaden through the chest. Notice if the ribs flare, draw them in. Isometric squeeze, use the bandhas. Take an inhale. Let the shoulders relax on the exhale. Long, straight spine, inhale. As we exhale, opening the hips up, taking time to adjust Virabhadrasana 2. So left knee moves out towards the space between the left big toe and the second toe. Find the wideness and the expanse in your Virabhadrasana 2 as you gaze out towards the left middle fingers. Take a deep inhale here and a deep exhale. And we'll move in and out through this pose. So Vira 1, take an inhale. Exhale, turn both toes out, Baddha Squat. Squat, exhale. Pause for the inhale, knees go wide. Exhale, hands pull down, strong fists. Inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, back of the mat. Find the equanimity in the feet press out with the pubis and the bandhas draw through towards the middle line, light tuck in the pelvis. Take an inhale here, stay for the exhale. Both toes out, heels in, inhale. Exhale, elbows in, fists down. Inhale, top of the mat, Virabhadrasana 2. Steady and stable, exhale. Toes out, heels in, arms up, goddess, inhale. Exhale, power pose. Inhale, reach and extend, Vira 2 back on the mat. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more round. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale, Vira 2, stay. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, back. Exhale. Inhale up, exhale, inhale center, exhale. When we're inhale here, steady, slow the breath. Exhale, hands circle down towards the earth. However you like, pause here, take an inhale. Exhale, either straight into vinyasa. You can take 3 of those modified push-up plank situations, or take 3 push-ups and go right into your back bend of choice. Take an inhale here, exhale. Inhale, bring the heart forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, heart forward, navel in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank pose. We've got the strong and steady, long spine. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, broad through the collarbones. Exhale, chaturanga. For me, inhale, plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Your choice, vinyasa. Knee at the back of the mat. Inhale. Open the mouth wide. Exhale. So enjoy the play here. Enjoy the balance between the breath and the bones, the structure and the integrity. Staying in your down dog. I don't want to talk to you between my legs. Being in balance. Roll the shoulders back, draw the heart forward, lift in and up on the navel, and draw the hip creases back as though there's a friend doing that classic yoga assist, just pulling you back towards their body. And we'll switch it up just a little bit different on the opposite side. So go ahead and press strong into the hands, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, reach the right leg long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, open and stack the hip. So drawing the tailbone down and in, feel the structure, the integrity, the architecture of the bones. See if you can wrap the right shoulder down, press the right knee towards the sky and widen through the toes. You can take a couple of breaths here or some unfettered movement in the foot and ankle. Just small circles, maybe the knee gets involved. Your body, your practice, your choice. Inhale, reach the right leg long. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Squeeze the thighs together so your feet are on a bit of a train track. Come on up, Virabhadrasana 1, crescent variation. So you can take time to find the expanse in the low back. We're not going to overstep or overdrive into our legs. Reach the arms up. Relax the shoulders down. Long, steady breath. So my back would be turned to you, but I'm going to go ahead and draw my body around so that you can see what I'm doing. We'll open up into Virabhadrasana 2, right side body. So Virabhadrasana 2, come on, get low in your stance. Second time here. Tail down, pubis lifts, broad heart. Steady the shoulders, maybe offer the palms up. Flip the palms down, take an inhale. Reverse the warrior. Left hand either comes down the back of the leg or wraps around. If the arm is wrapping, you're encouraging the external rotation in the right knee. Couple of steady breaths here. Heart turns up. We're more concerned about the openness and the twist than the back bend. Invite the light in the air to the face. Feel the space. Take an inhale. Keep that half bind if you've got it, or hand on the sacrum. As you exhale, slide yourself forward. Begin to straighten into that front leg. Moving towards Trikonasana. So this might be a great place to have a block. You can use your ankle in my case, or the earth, a chair. Wrap the left elbow, shoulder back. Draw the right ribs up. You can turn the head and neck up if that's okay for the neck. If not, you can gaze down at the earth. Hug the heel towards the heel. Lengthen the spine so tailbone moves down. Crown of the head moves up. Long, steady breath. And you might imagine that there's a friend or a wall behind you so that you feel comfortable to lean back, that the scapula move one towards the other. Right big toe presses into the earth. Go ahead and take the left hand to the left hip as you gaze down. So depending on your space, moving towards Ardha Chandrasana, right hand might move out towards the right. In my case, I can cheat and put my foot on this balcony. This is excellent. If you've got a wall behind you, you might lean the buttocks into the wall. Gazes down, press actively into the right foot, hug the right buttocks in. Left foot is flexed, left heel presses out and up. Draw the navel in to help turn the heart up. You might even choose to gaze up. Again, shoulders move towards one another. Take a long, light inhale. An expansive, steady exhale. And very slowly, left hand comes back to the hip. We'll exit the same way we came in. So moving back through your Trikonasana. Back up, bend the knee, Virabhadrasana 2. Take an inhale to expand. Exhale, hands to the hips. Momentary pause, goddess squat. So oftentimes the tendency is for the knees to rock in, draw them out. Drop the tail, lift the heart. Take a pause here. Take an inhale. Sit, stand, feel the strength in the legs, the core, the bandhas. Take an exhale. Inhale to straighten, to breathe. And as you exhale, we'll turn forward. Virabhadrasana 2 on the left-hand side. So a couple of expansive breaths here. Taking your yoga with you into real life. We've all had a lot of practice with this these days. On a porch, it's beautiful. You might find yourself pressing the door open or getting the joy of using pieces and parts of the structure of the wall around you as prop. So breathing into your Virabhadrasana 2 here, we'll take an inhale. Right hand moves down the back. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand might slide down the leg or sneak around the hip crease. And if you're grabbing your hip crease, the intention is to push down and out. So you're helping create more space in the hip flexor, space between the thigh and the hip bone. Take a steady breath here. Left shoulder wraps back, left chest turns up. Keep the wrap if you'd like, and as you exhale, begin to straighten into that left leg. So if you're me and you've got this steady porch here, you might extend as far as you can before coming down, or not. Hand might stay at the sacrum, stay in the wrap, or extend up, depending on what feels good in your body. Either way, whether the arm is extended or wrapped, hugging the right shoulder towards the left ribs turning up. So nice, long, steady, expansive, think tailbone down, crown of the head, shooting forward with energy. So there's no pane of glass that you're fitting between. It's energy down and up. It's turning the chest. It's finding space and strength. And the wildness of the energy around you and the structure and strength of your body. Big inhale. Full exhale. Right hand starts to come to the hip. Ooh. Finding your space, left hand comes down, stepping towards Ardha Chandrasana. So gaze is down. Left hand is about 11 o'clock on a clock on the floor in front of you. Left foot is directly forward. Left glute, left leg hugs in. Right leg is long and flexed. And your hips might start to turn up. I'm gonna keep the left leg hugging in. The gaze can stay down. You might stay here. Active feet, really press strong and long through the right heel. Active crown of the head. Or you might choose to lift the left arm up. Left shoulder moves towards the right. Left chest moves towards the right. Right chest, right back of the chest moves towards the back of the left. Steady the breath. Enjoy the balance, if even for a moment. And then we'll exit the way we came in, hand to the hip. Back, press it. Moving through Trikonasana, back to Virabhadrasana 2. Take an inhale here. Take an exhale. Bring the hands to the hips, turn the toes in, heels out. Pause here in Prasarita. So we'll come through a little bit of side core movement from Gurmukh, which she calls Oompa Loompas. It's fun, you can challenge your balance. Go ahead, heels in, toes out. Heels in, toes out, low squat. Sitting as though you're sitting along the back of the wall. Hands come out, whoosh, traditional goddess or horse pose. Take an inhale here, put the weight into the left foot, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, center, exhale. Inhale, inhale. Inhale, elbow to knee. Elbow to knee, stay low. 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 Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Knees go back. Chest is forward. Inhale. Exhale, heels out. And go ahead and walk the hands forward, big, wide, downward facing dog. Take a moment to pause. Open the chest, feel the expanse of the tailbone. And as you exhale, find that hammock back so the chest moves down towards the earth. If you're more flexible, the forearms might even come down. The head hanging relaxed. Go ahead and walk the hands under the heart or perhaps under the face. We'll take the right hand directly under the face and the left arm comes up. Big twist towards the left. You can let the hips follow you. Tailbone pushes back. Crown of the head moves forward. Long spine, long breath. And then as we exhale, we'll switch sides. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Just let it feel good. Opening into the chest. And exhale, take the hand down. Walk the hands under the shoulders. Walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. And yogi's choice, either you can step back here, you can take those 3 push-ups, or you can just take one, and we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale brings you forward. Exhale back to plank. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let the body know your breath. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Exhale, quietly step the left foot between the hands. Right knee comes down. This is where you either want your blanket or a little fold over of the mat, depending on the sensitivity in your knees. Go ahead and walk the left foot a little bit further, a little bit wider towards the left. Right hand comes down. You can use it to glue down your mat. A little wrap of the upper tricep back, and go ahead and turn and twist towards your left. So the thigh can move slightly away. You're creating space between the abdomen and the thigh, twisting the heart towards the left side of your body. This is all about the opening in the hip flexor. So if this feels like quite enough in the hip flexor, first off, we want to keep the hips lifted for this variation. Hug the hips in and up. If you'd like a little bit more, you might bend into the back right leg and reach the hand around for the foot. So foot to glute, glute to foot. Instead of dropping down super far, overstretching our hip flexor, we're going to keep it up. So really keeping this into the quad. Foot towards heel, here towards butt. Maybe you lower it a little, but you keep the foot and heel connection. The foot and butt connection. All the while twisting the heart up. And you'll come all the way back around to center and unfold your mat. Vinyasa, step it back. So either full vinyasa or meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale. Inhale, right leg comes up this time. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Left knee comes down. Take time to flip the mat or bring your blanket over. So for me today, this is a very minimalist practice. Placing my left hand down, wrapping my left tricep back, and take my right foot out to the side. So take a couple breaths here. You may take the right hand to the right thigh. Go ahead and twist up. Press down into the hand, external rotation in the upper left forearm and the upper left shoulder. Big inhale. Big exhale. Beginning to press into the right foot to help lift the hips. You can either choose to stay here or bending into the back left knee. Go ahead and grab a held of the top of the foot, bringing the butt towards the foot towards the butt. So if you're way out here, you're gonna stay up here as you twist. More about the quad than the whole front of the hip flexor. So bring them close, draw the heart up, nice steady breath, wrap the right shoulder back. Breathe into the wild expanse of your spirit. And then exhale, release. Untuck.
yogi's choice, maybe a final vinyasa before we move into the yin portion of our practice. You can join me in pregnancy vinyasa that involves no back bend, but does involve a push-up. Inhale, plank. Exhale out and move. Take an inhale, go ahead and drop the knees to the floor. Roll over the ankles and come down and find a seat. So in a yin Vin practice that's only an hour, we don't have a ton of time for the yin, for multiple yin practices or multiple yin poses, but what we do have, we'll find quality. So we'll take the legs wide. We'll be taking half dragonfly or half side stretch. So this might be somewhere where you'd like to sit up on a blanket or a pillow if you have a hard time getting the sit bones to balance evenly on the floor. You might take one hand behind. I'm reaching behind my left leg, moving the left flesh back of the buttocks and the thigh. I don't have a particularly wide stance. I'm kind of cheating here. I have the support of this door, which is nice. You might have a wall in front of you. Little micro bend in the knees so you're not hyperflexing through the knees. We want to keep the knees lifted if we can throughout this. I like to teach yin with a little bit of integrity. But you don't need to keep the feet as active, so the feet don't need to be as fully engaged and pressed, just wide and broad, and maybe a little relaxed. Pause and breathe in the middle. Inhale. Shoulders cascade down the back. Exhale. Slowing the breath. Going home to the body. So again, this is a space for props. If you have a block or pillow, you might choose to bring them under the forearms or move the head down. As we inhale, we'll begin to turn the heart towards the left. We won't disengage, so we'll leave the right hip planted, not turning so much that the booty lifts. So just enough left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. A little bit of integrity in the chest. And you might choose to stay here. We're looking to find about a 5% sensation as you move down. Left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. This can be a beautiful space to rest the crown of the head on the block. Left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. So again, I'll be lifting myself up. I'd like you to stay where you are. You'll keep the integrity and the structure in the spine. The softness of the breath. So as we open through the groin and expand through the back body, if you've landed in a space that there's no pulling in the backs of the knees, just knowing that you're safe in the structure of your body. If you've had any injuries to the knees, bringing a deeper bend, rolling up a blanket or a pillow underneath. So it's not worth injuring your knees again. And diving into the moment, whether it's a complete moment of surrender and peace, or you feel slight discomfort. Notice where the edges are. If it's the body or the mind. If it's the mind or the heart. Draw on your prana. Find the expansive, steady, calming presence of the inhale breath and the exhale breath. If there is any distraction or discomfort, what is it? Is it the mind and story? Is it sensation in the body? Who are you when you are uncomfortable? Do you have the sudden urge to flee? To open the eyes? To scratch? To reach for your phone? Who are we when the possibility exists to live beyond distraction? Can we dive fully into the moment? Jaw soften, let the bones be heavy. The heart moves slightly towards the left. Very slowly, over the next 5 to 7 seconds, begin to roll the spine up to a seat, and the head and the neck will come up last. That rushing, the catapulting, is slowly lengthening, feeling the entire expanse of the experience. Coming back to center, feeling a rush or release, perhaps pulsing or popcorning through the knees. Sigh. Find full release. We'll move into the second side of the body. So beginning to turn the heart and the pelvis lightly towards the right without compromising the integrity of the security left sit bone to the earth. This time, right shoulder draws back, left shoulder lightly forward. Navel draws in. So there's a turning element, there's a twisting element here. And you can choose to stay here as you inhale. As you exhale, you might begin to walk yourself forward, transferring any props that you might have. So the prop here would be under the seat to help open the hips, or under the forehead to support the neck. We're not pushing or forcing ourselves any closer to the earth here. So there's no forcing quality here. It's this release into the moment. The wildness of letting it be. How wild it was to let it be. Sometimes the wild and the ferocious and the limitless possibility doesn't have to be like the burning and the warrior and all of the heat and energy that we can create. Sometimes the wildness is stepping back. It's letting something smolder. It's getting quiet, receding, moving away from drama, moving away from the collective fireball of energy rolling downhill in our global culture. The not having your voice heard, the not being a part of it, the living under a rock, so to speak. Embracing the recede, the drawback into the self. And as you reside here, not always, but you reside here in calm, so that when you are outward, you are full of grace and peace. Find the anchor in the breath, the fullness of the inhale, the fullness of the exhale. You're safe, you're secure, you're infinite. From your space of folding forward of prostration, taking about the next 5 seconds, the next 5 pulses of breath, to slowly roll the spine back to center. Before lifting the gaze, you might choose to fold forward slightly, forearms moving down towards the earth. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. As you rock back on the sit bones, begin to take the hands under the knees together and come back through center. You might popcorn up the knees or straighten the legs, or just draw yourself into a little ball at the center of the chest. The rebound, the drawing in, the pause between the pose. The space of infinite creation possibility. We'll expand outwards from here. Crowd favorite, banana asana. So I'll attempt to show this to you on camera. It's a bit challenging showing something that you lie down, but when you're lying down, legs are long, arms are long overhead. Take an inhale. As you exhale, walk both feet over towards the right. You'll reach the right arm over towards the right, left arm over towards the right. However, both shoulders are down. Gaze turns over to the left. So you feel a big stretch from the left heel all the way up to the left armpit. You might choose to cross the left leg over the right as an anchor. You may be even taking the right hand to the left elbow or forearm to encourage a deeper side bend. Your body, your practice, your choice, and notice how this feels at the side of your body. Anchoring through the full back body. So staying down on the ground, I'm going to lift up so I can speak, dropping into your breath. So, feeling the lines of energy in the body, meridians, chi lines, the lines of energy that run through the lungs are our meridians for release of grief. Autumn is a time for releasing grief as well. It's the cycle of our lives. It's the part of the wheel. And this makes sense when you look at, depending on the hemisphere that you're in, perhaps the trajectory of nature around you. This is a time when we harvest, so taking in all that's grown, the apples, the okra, and a release of the leaves, a death, a dormancy, an exhale. All the way back to the earth. And the beauty of this release is, again, it creates the possibility of rebirth. When you're not burdened by carrying something that's heavier or that's something that isn't yours, there's space for newness and growth in your life. And possibility exists. You never know what's coming. You never know who or what will cross your threshold. And breathe into the moment of letting go. So before the possibility, before the insightfulness, before we have the hindsight, oftentimes there's the pain and the sadness of leaving behind someone or something, a cherished part of ourselves. When you're in the middle of the work, it doesn't always seem like this glorious rebirth is possible. And so wherever you are today in this whole spectrum of human emotion, breathing into that. With eyes closed, distinguishing the space between each rib. Feeling a freshness and a sensation of newness as the air lifts and lengthens the left side of the body. Take 3 more of your own fullest cycles of breath here. At the end of the 3rd cycle of breath, bringing the legs back to neutral. back to center. Arms might reach overhead or down by the sides. Take a moment, a little mini Shavasana. Leave the body on the ground. And then as you exhale, moving into the opposite side of the body. So both feet move towards the left side of the mat. You can choose to cross the right ankle over the left. Both arms reach up overhead, perhaps clasping onto the forearm or the elbow to help create a larger expanse on the right side body. Gaze might turn up towards the right, left shoulder softening, or the head can turn down towards the left. Let both heads of the shoulders connect to the earth, fully releasing the bones of the body to the ground. Take a moment to move from the ankle to the armpit. Feel the length and the expanse of the entire breadth of the right side body. Invite more air, invite a fuller inhale and a softer exhale. Noticing if you are comfortable here or if the mind is racing, if stillness is the wild, unbridled challenge of your life or movement, right? So just because when we think of Kali and we think of wild, ferocious, limitless possibility, we might picture her dancing with her necklace of skulls and all the snakes flying out of her hair on top of her lover's body in the middle of the cremation grounds. You might picture this wild, ferocious, female, powerful dance. And that evokes horror, a lot of energy and terror. But just because that is the archetypal image of Kali doesn't mean that your wild, unbridled possibility doesn't reside in stillness. That perhaps this just frenetic and passionate power is something you harness on the daily. You might be perhaps a little too far into that side of your energetic qualities. And that for you to really tap into the infinite, you might need to come down, to sink, to be still. And the way to know this might be to notice your level of comfort here. Is this a place of complacency or utter exhaustion? Or do you feel this slight tug, like I need to move, I need to go, I'm not productive enough? If you do, I would just encourage you to explore that, to perhaps take a moment or two to examine the possibility of setting that aside. Like, what would really happen if you lay there on the ground? What would really happen if you fully focused on your breath? And then fully focus on your breath. Come back to the steady inhale and the steady exhale. Fully enraptured in the moment. And take 3 more of your longest, most steady breaths on the right side of the body. At the bottom of the 3rd breath, releasing back to a neutral blueprint. So arms might come down by the sides, legs expand long. And we'll move in this way, inviting ourselves to slide directly into Shavasana. You take a couple moments if you'd like to set your Shavasana up. For some, maybe a blanket rolled up under the knees, or maybe along the length of the spine. Taking your time to move before setting the body aside.
So finding stillness, traditionally toes face out, palms face up. Take a deep inhale, feel into every corner of the body. And a deep exhale to let it go. So this is where we release. Leave the body by itself. Leave the breath by itself. Allow the rest to melt, to meld, to release. So lay here in the undercurrent of Shavasana, existing beyond the limits of the body and the breath, staying heavy in our physical form. And we think about ourself, our sides, our energetic qualities as a Kali and Lakshmi embodiment. It's tempting to perhaps be drawn more towards one than the other. Perhaps we feel more connected with our wild, unbridled, limitless self, and it's a little less appealing, perhaps, to be structured or domestic or refined. But this structure and this steadiness is what keeps us grounded. It's our strength. It's how we grow deeper in our practice. We're not just leaning on our flexibility and flopping from left to right. We find excitement in our proprioceptive awareness, in our ability to hug the muscle and bone together, in our capacity to be there in our body and also in our breath, to take care of ourselves and one another, to be a part of society.
it's important to honor this peace and to possess this peace, to live here amongst each other, we must also keep in our hearts that our life is fleeting, that we are more than just our body, and the way that this body and this spirit interact while they're here on this earth is important. The story is important. The action and the inaction are important. The spoken and the unspoken are important. The doorways of infinite possibility that are open halfway or closed halfway. Our perspective is important. Becoming aware that energies exist, becoming aware when we as an individual or we as part of society have moved too far to one side, being able to take a step back or a step out, to pause and reflect. This is a sacred gift, not only that we give ourselves, but that we can give to one another. Shavasana being this ultimate time to step out of ourselves and out of society, to lay peacefully in the sand below the river, to allow the soft and gentle touch of intuition to enter into our being. And allow this to shape our intention for the rest of our day. Being still, being quiet, being receptive. Taking time to roll to the left side of the body, left arm like a pillow, left ear to that pillow, curling for a moment as we consciously move from a dreamlike state to wakefulness. Recapturing, re-entering the world, coming back to the structure and the energy and the passion as you press into the right hand, lifting yourself up to a comfortable seat, and bringing the left and the right side, bringing balance, bringing strength, bringing the fullness of who you are and who you're becoming right to the center of the moment.